that the system I was born into is built to work against me. Hurts that I have to remember. Hurts that I have to remember. Hurts that I have to... Hurts that I actually have to remember that you will happily invest more money into the preservation of wildlife than you ever will into the preservation of black life. Let me ask y'all a question. When y'all turn on your TVs and witness another black body laid out on your concrete, what do y'all see? Another sad story? Another funeral? Do you see the aftermath? I see another child that lost their father, another single woman trying to raise a man, another broken home which leads to another child that grows up and suffers the same fate as their father, which means another black woman that outlives her adolescent son. This country practices a culture that lacks equal rights for blacks, and we love to say that black don't crack. Meanwhile, y'all shatter our melanin.
On June 17th, 2015, Dylan Ruff walked into a midweek Bible study. He sat and prayed with the church members before pulling out his gun, killing most, and allowing one to live. After the incident, he was found and arrested peacefully. When Dylan Ruff killed 9 innocent black people, we did not question his God. He wore flags of apartheid Africa. We did not question his allegiance. He committed the crime alone. We did not question his people. When Adam Lanza shot a classroom full of first graders at Sandy Hook Elementary, we did not ask him to leave the country. When Timothy McVeigh killed 168 people in Oklahoma, we did not call this a crime against every American. When the KKK killed thousands of black people while swearing to uphold Christian morality, we did not ask them to remove their robes. We did not call all Christians bigots. Do you see it? How we don't label all white men based on the sins of a few. Do you see it? How we don't have to condemn a whole class of people based on the actions of some. Do you see it? How all the names are different. How all the faces are different. How all the people are different. Therefore, we should not condemn all Muslims for the radicalism of a group. If you want to persecute ISIS, go ahead. But to persecute ISIS is to persecute those that gave them power. To persecute those that gave them power is to persecute the U.S. government. Do your research. Islam is not synonymous with terror. It is literally submission. It is devotion. It is peace. Terrorism is actually forbidden, and jihad does not mean holy war. It means struggle. It means survival. It means standing face to face with everything that wants to put you in the ground and choosing to be alive. Do your research and stop listening to CNN. Stop trading humanity for hypocrisy. Stop staring at Muslims in the airport. Stop letting your fear drag you into ignorance. Stop supporting billionaire Republicans who want to scare you into murdering the innocent, and start supporting leaders who speak peace in their native tongue. Instead of burning down the mosque, burn down the walls around the pulsating muscle in your chest and realize that we all have one. And lastly, as the customary greeting goes, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam, and upon you be peace. Do you see it?
Being a black woman is knowing when the fight is not yours. It is letting America pay for her sins and transgressions. We will not save you this time. Tell me what you know about being disqualified for being overqualified. Knowing too much and might do the job too well. Code switching my tongue to standard English just to be micromanaged by someone who calls himself an ally. Feed me propaganda. Greet me with African-American vernacular they learned on TikTok. They say it's the new Gen Z lingo. They have no idea the origin of this breakdance language. We are living in a new era. The descendants of sharecroppers are now the new corporate baddies. Systemic racism, cowards, and envy hate to see all this prosperity on us, so they took back their affirmative action in the name of equality. Fine. Keep your DEI initiatives and programs. Haven't we been here before? I'm not shocked by your inherited ignorance, the colonization in your blood. I come from a lineage of women who marched with swollen feet and pregnant bellies, hunted by the smell of burning flesh in Jim Crow South. We are not new to this unsolicited grief against our bodies. When this truth fully dissolves in my skin, I am a protest waiting to happen at sunset. I know too much about riding at dawn for what you believe in. When copper skin is exalted until it becomes a threat, fat, the vultures will come and try to confiscate our skin, our culture, our charm, Billy. They will give us a national holiday, but there is still strange fruit swinging. Every day we are fighting erasure with permanent ink, writing our stories in the skylines to never be forgotten. My people are here. We have always been here. For most Black women, we are somebody's lifeline. Tour guide to enlightenment, we are somebody's mother, mending deprived hearts, holding on to things that don't belong to us, standing on front lines for people who would never march for us, but despite what they say, what we conjure in our bellies is miraculous. Being a Black woman is holy. It is the remedy in our touch, the comfort in our laughter. It is finding sunlight in your teeth during the darkest hour in the day. It is the hunger of wanting to live in a world that doesn't love you back. It is trading your armor for roses and resting in all the glory she is made of.
Hi, beautiful friends. I hope you are doing okay. Thanks so much for clicking this video. I always appreciate your love and support. So I came across these poems and I was like, this is more than just a poem. Because to me, it felt like history being spoken out aloud. Voices of memories that have been buried for too long. And when you listen to them, you don't just hear rhymes. You hear pain, survival, and the fight of a people who for centuries have had to prove their own humanity in a world that keeps trying to deny it. So I put them together so that you can watch as well as leave your opinion about it in the comments. Before we dive in, do well to like the video, subscribe too, and I appreciate you for doing that.
This poem is inspired by a Facebook post where I asked Black people, if you could write a letter to white people, what would you say? Dear white people, I don't even know where to start. In between my busy schedule comprised entirely of surviving white America, there is simply no time to write letters. Besides, any letter I write will most likely bring tears to your eyes, and I, for one, have had my fill of white tears. There are days I think you aren't worth my ink, that your whiteness is draining me of too much energy. Can't give you a taste of the tea for fear you'll colonize the whole kitchen. But today, I am too angry to remain silent. Dear white people, stop making everything about you and how uncomfortable you are. I honestly don't give a flying fuck about your comfort level. You have made my very existence an exercise in discomfort. It is time for you to make room at the table. Better yet, go sit in the living room. I am not here to coddle your feelings, not here for your amusement. No, you cannot touch my hair. This isn't a damn petting zoo. And stop coming into my office asking for the managers if you aren't already looking at one. Dear white people, stop telling me about this colorblind society you allegedly live in. Telling me you don't see race is the racist drivel I hope you choke on. Telling me you respect me but don't see my color is like saying you have to pretend I'm not Black in order to respect me. But let me assure you, I am Black, though there are plenty of things I'm not, like your sassy Black friend. Stop saying, hey girl, when you see me. You ain't that slick. I hear the way you talk to Becky and Steve every day. You sound like Vacation on Martha's Vineyard, where you spent summers waiting in the bitter blue of the Atlantic. How I wish my toes could touch the ocean without stepping on the bones of my ancestors. Dear white teachers, why don't I know who my ancestors are? Why is only one part of my history important enough to teach? And for the love of God, stop swiveling your heads every time slavery is mentioned. Newsflash, I wasn't there. And just because I'm the only Black person in this class doesn't mean you can ask me to speak on behalf of my race. I believe you really care about the opinion of Black students when you stop shutting down conversations because I call a white student racist. Dear white people, why do you hate being called racist more than you hate racism? Why do you listen to Tim Wise over actual Black people about the Black experience? Dear white people, stop using Black on Black crime as a reason we shouldn't be outraged by the murder of Black people by white cops. If a Black person kills a Black person, they will go to jail, and that is what we call justice. If a white cop kills a Black person, they will get paid leave, and that is what we call justice. Apparently, justice is when a Black body dies. Dear white people, every time we've written white people, we've written it in lowercase because we are tired of you capitalizing on our pain. We are angry and raw and tired and angry and raw and tired and tired and tired, but we will not rest because we know the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And you have been getting us ready for centuries.
This is why they're trying to erase our history. Because when you understand our history, you know we done been through worse than this. You mean to tell me you can snatch us from the coast of Africa? You can place us in the bottom of ships? You can sail us over waters? Some of us jumped over, some of us stayed in. We didn't know the language. We could land in a place we had never been in before, didn't know each other, didn't know you, you didn't know us. But then we were able to develop a culture that is envied around the world. We were able to build institutions. We were able to build banks. We were able to build communities. We were able to build churches. We were able to build the White House that man sit in today. He spoke and said, why are you looking for the living amongst the walking dead? Because anytime you can deport a citizen and don't feel nothing, it's because you walking dead. Anytime you can threaten the IRS status of universities because they don't believe what you believe and they let their students exercise their First Amendment right, it's because you walking dead. Anytime you think you can sell Bibles and tennis shoes, sometimes God has to show up and refresh your expectation. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, this is not over. There is more to life than this. We're going to get past this. We're going to live through this. That this is not the worst that we've seen. That there is still better days. Is there anybody that ever had to talk themselves out of some things because the enemy was trying to make you believe it was over? But what I like about the women is they didn't let their trauma create paralysis. Because you do know the purpose of what is going on today is for the purpose of traumatizing us so that we end up paralyzed. You do know what is happening today is designed to make us so fearful that we won't know what to do. We won't act, we won't speak, we won't gather, we won't celebrate. But I need somebody who in deep East Oakland, not regular East Oakland, deep East Oakland, who know that when you from down here, you're not scared of nothing and nobody. I need a few people to understand that I'm not gonna let anybody from a White House or anybody living in my house to keep me from being a witness on behalf of God. The Bible says.
I'm tired of having to type black girl in the search bar every time I look up something. My FBI agent knows everything else, but you're telling me it doesn't know that I'm black. How is even my algorithm oppressed? Black people have to fight twice as hard to be seen even by the internet, but we've never been too blind to see that there's an internet that only catches us when convenient. Because ain't it funny how we invisible until they need a trend or some inspiration or some mugshots instead of graduation pictures to post over every news station. They call it ghetto till it's popular. They call it ghetto till it's popular. Call it unprofessional until it's profitable. But still won't give credit to our creations. How you going to shadow ban us but still our innovations? Take our stories out the history books but have no problem reminding us of slavery. I've learned more about our trauma than our triumphs. That we not the minds behind the lights you turn on, the roads you drive on, the music you dance to. Yeah, I bet some of you didn't know that rock and roll had black roots, but they whitewash us out the picture like they always do. Want our rhythm but not our blues. Want our culture but not our hues. But you can't hide the roads you drive on, the music you dance to. Yeah, I bet some of you didn't know rock and roll had black roots, but they whitewash us out the picture like they always do. Want our rhythm but not our blues. Want our culture but not our hues. But you can't hide the truth. You can't erase fingerprints. We done left them on everything. How you love the food but hate the recipe. We proved time and time again.
Say that shit again. Say it again.
How you love the food but hate the recipe. We proved time and time again there's nothing that we can't do. I got resilience in my DNA. Shout out to my grandma Ruth and all the ancestors that gave their lives just so that we could live better. So you got to understand why I low-key find it disrespectful that I'm looking for inspiration, that I got to type black in the search engine. Like we not worthy of being found without looking. Like we ain't the blueprint. Like our skin ain't godly. Like we ain't fine art and body. So when I type in hairstyle ideas, if she can't use my comb, I don't want to see it on my phone. I want to see every app. So when I type in hairstyle ideas, she can't use my comb. I don't want to see it on my phone. I want to see every afro, dreadlock, and kinky curl that the workplace deems is wrong. When I type in dinner ideas, I don't want to see Cracker Barrel dishes. I want to see something that looks like it came out of my... I want to see something that looks like it came out of my auntie's kitchen. When I type in brilliance, I just want to see my reflection. I want the whole world to know that God snapped when he made melanin. And I'm going to keep saying it because I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. And not even the algorithm can silence that. Thank you.
Ariana, are you still hungry?
I could eat.
Well then, let's cook. There is love deep within the word food. My mom says
If you eat good, you'll feel good.
that food is the ultimate mediator, and no meal can beat gumbo.
Can beat hot pot.
It's a one-pot dish that comes together when people come together.
It's not just soup.
It's soul, and my soul longs to know if I can
eat my way.
beats my way through history. To make the food that is up in your bowl, we look for herbs deep within the ground. For our roots were ruined the pickings of slavery. We prepare seafood because my people have spent so much time crossing the sea, it starts to feel like home.
Do you smell the onion, the garlic, the bay leaf? The meal is coming together. We add noodles, thinly sliced meat, piles of mushrooms and leafy greens. Communal cooking is a symphony, and we use chopsticks to direct the movement. My people have been doing this for centuries. Gathering at this watering hole, reuniting with family. We mix and match and take in place to make sure that everyone eats.
In my house, it's a sitting another plate before everyone has had their first serving.
Cooking is our community, and I want to cook like my grandma, but she doesn't use any recipes.
Recipes are for replication.
And repetition means nothing to people who have only experienced inconsistency from the law. As immigrants,
As enslaved, my ancestors received the receipts of other people's meals, telling them that this is what we must pay to keep America satisfied.
Over generations, we've been forced to find the right flavors for America's palate to be the dish that everyone likes.
Because America doesn't see one pot and think of a meal to be shared. No!
America sees one pot and thinks homogenized.
Thinks assimilate. Thinks that's too spicy. Thinks water it down. But
hot pot requires love.
The most basic secret ingredient that is hard to find here.
Stores won't stock what is not in demand.
Instead, they stockpile chemicals, preservatives, and dyes.
We demand you see beyond the artificial food, the artificial community.
Listen to our hearts so you can measure with yours, because family is who you share your meals with, and community is who will risk the curse, the wrong, the craft, the tears, the space to put food on your plate. It might be painful to stomach the weight of the past,
to set the table for future generations.
but my family sits in the presence. When they say I love you, it sounds like,
Nichir Lama, have you eaten yet? It sounds like,
baby, you know there's food in the kitchen.
there are things that recipe books can't imitate.
Because no one pot is the same. No one poet is the same. Watch how we melt together. And while they may taste different,
Gumbo
hot pot conjures memories, carries struggles, captures love. Now, Ariana, are you still hungry?
Nah, we ate.
All right, friends, welcome back. Like I said earlier, to me, this poem speaks of the chains that once bound bodies, but also of the chains that still exist today, like poverty, injustices, discrimination, and fear. It tells the story of generations who fought for freedom, yet still must fight to be seen. And that part we started with, Dear White People. The beginning of that letter felt like a question, a cry, and a truth. What would you say if given a chance to write about everything? Would you write about slavery, Jim Crow, police brutality, or doors closed, lynching, jobs denied, voices silenced, or lives stolen? I know the letter would be too long that many would never finish reading it, because there is too much to tell, too much pain that cannot be erased with apologies or silence. But I also noticed that this poem is not just about pain. It's also about strength. It's about a people who refuse to disappear. A Black mother and father who kept hope alive. It's also about children who grew up learning to walk tall, even though the world tries to break them down. It's also about culture, art, music, and words that carry both sorrow and joy. And it's the reason why this poem really moved me. It makes you want to cry. It makes you want to shake your head in disbelief. And at the same time, you feel like whispering, this is too much. But it also inspires, because every verse is a proof that Black people are still here, still speaking, still fighting, and still demanding to be seen, not as victims, but as human beings whose history matters, voices matter, and also lives matter. And sometimes when you sit with these words, you realize that Black suffering is not just written in books or recorded history, it's actually living. It breathes in the experiences of people today. It's in the grandmother who tells her grandchildren stories of what she survived. It's in a father who worries about the safety of his children while they are at school or on the streets. It's also in a young girl who has to wonder why our beauty has to be questioned, why our hair is criticized, and why our existence feels like a battlefield. This poem is like a mirror, not only for the past, but for the present too. It reminds us that Black people are tired of explaining, tired of proving, tired of carrying the pain that should never have been theirs in the first place. And yet, in that tiredness, you can still feel like there is still fire. Fire that says we are not broken, we cannot be erased. Our story is too important, too rich, and too powerful to ever be forgotten. The other day, I was talking about Black contributions and inventions. That's a topic that so many people try to change it to make it look like it is from the other side, and yet we all know the truth. To me, watching this poem felt emotional but also raw, and it's something that we shouldn't stop talking about, because if we stay quiet, people will become too comfortable to make us suffer. So let's appreciate these sweet voices for giving us such an inspiration, as well as the strength to move on no matter what we face. So before I end this video, I just want to say this. Whenever I see videos like this, I feel so proud of Black people, because no matter what the world thinks, no matter what the world says, we don't let it break us. Instead, we turn it into strength. We turn it into a weapon that pushes us forward, that encourages us to even rise higher. So if you're a Black person watching this, just know that you are enough. You can as well do anything that any other person can do. Your story, your voice, your life is all that matter, and never forget that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you think about it. Like, subscribe, share it. Take care of yourself. I love you, and we will meet soon. Bye.